Hannah decides it's time to go on a diet when she can no longer fit inside the slacks she bought last year. Considering how many cookies she eats in every book, I am surprised this didn't happen sooner.
Argofont Book Review, Argofont Book Review.
This review was commissioned through Patreon. Patreon, please give me your money. Norman isn't a huge fan of living with his mother, so he just bought the old Volkler place from Rhonda Scarf. He plans to knock it down and build the dream house that he designed with Hannah 2 books ago. Mom assumes Norman's gonna marry Hannah because, hello, he's literally building her dream house. I half expected Mom to start singing the theme song from Barbie's Dream House, Life in the Dream House. Mike is jealous to hear about the dream house, and he makes Hannah promise that if Norman proposes, he'll be the first person she calls. I'm not entirely sure what Mike's plan is here. What sort of counter-proposal can he offer? I know Norman wants to marry you, but don't forget, I'm better looking than him. This is pretty much all the romance drama we have in the book. I guess the love triangle is on vacation today. The town is having a big celebration for the 4th of July, so this is the 3rd book in a row with a town festival. It's almost like Lake Eden can't go a week without a huge celebration or a murder. Andrea plans to make a float for the parade, and we meet Freddie and Jed. Freddie is mildly retarded, and Jed is a cousin who moved here last month to take care of him. Hannah is happy that Jed has been a good influence. Mom wants to get some antiques out of the house, so she goes there with Norman and Hannah. Hannah finds one of her lemon meringue pies, along with 2 orders of osso buco. Buco, I don't know how to pronounce it, I've never heard of that food. Meanwhile, Mom finds Rhonda's dead body. In a hilarious reversal of previous books, Mom is gung-ho about investigating, while Hannah doesn't want to solve the murder mystery. It's not really her business, she's busy, and she's tired of the police getting mad at her. While the joke is funny, it goes on for a bit too long. It ends with the police making bets over how long it will be before Hannah takes the case. On an opposite note, I think the joke of Mom's investigation was too short. We have one scene of Mom making a silly suspect list, which includes Norman and question mark. I would have loved to see a running joke with Mom's wild theories about the murder. Well, Hannah's 2 leads are both food. Is anyone surprised? Lisa has a list of everyone who bought their lemon meringue pies. She goes through them all and learns, the pie at the crime scene, it was a gift from Claire, so that's a dead end. As for the osso buco, only one restaurant serves that as a takeout meal. Hannah conveniently knows how to read upside down, so she's able to get the reservation list from the maitre d' without anybody realizing it. She discovers the food came from Principal Purvis. He was Rhonda's secret boyfriend. He broke up with her the night she was killed. He's not exactly the smartest principal in the school district, since he thought alcohol would make her happy about being dumped. And he didn't realize that driving her to a destination breakup means he'd have to drive her home afterwards. Purvis is super lucky, though. He scared away the murderer without realizing it, and he's cleared of all charges since his bursitis makes it impossible for him to have stabbed anyone. Hannah learns that her freezer is connected to the alarm at the store next door. This will be important for the ending. She learns Jed used to work at a prison. He claims the prison just gave him a ton of back pay, so now he's rich. Mike reveals this, and not exactly true. Jed was fired for drinking on the job and missing work. Hannah starts to suspect Jed isn't a good influence on Freddie after all, when Freddie is arrested for drunken misconduct after bar hopping with Jed. Hannah's sister Michelle comes home from college. She has green hair and a snake tattoo. Hannah almost has a fit, but it turns out it's just stage makeup for a play. Whew! But then Norman puts gemstones on her teeth. Hannah almost has a fit again, but it turns out they're fakes. Whew! Finally, Michelle wears an incredibly revealing outfit. I thought this would be a joke just like the last 2 times, but no! Michelle's just wearing skimpy clothes that Hannah disapproves of. Lisa gets an odd $10 bill. It turns out it's from a 1974 bank heist. As time goes on, it's clear that somebody is spending the stolen money all over town. Now, who suddenly has a lot of money? Hannah gets pictures of the crime scene, and Andrea notices 3 jars of jam are located on the wrong shelf. Again, this is important for the ending. Hannah's clothes get wet in a storm, which gives her an excuse to go into the victim's apartment to get dry clothes. She finds a secret letter from a prisoner which mentions jam jars. In retrospect, it was stupid for Hannah to not follow up on this lead immediately, but the letter is decades old. I can understand why she didn't think they were the same jars. The culprit attacks Freddy. At work, Hannah hides chocolate behind a big container. That way she won't see the chocolate and spoil her diet. She realizes the culprit is doing the same thing. They hid the money from the bank heist behind the jam jars. Jed must have seen the letter when he worked at the prison, and he killed Rhonda to get at the money. A drunk Jed shows up. He plugs the air vent in order to kill Hannah. Since her fridge is connected to the alarm next door, Hannah triggers the alarm by causing a power shortage. She does this by stabbing electric cables with the murder weapon, which is really cool, but now the killer's knife is destroyed. You got rid of the best evidence you have, Hannah. Now the killer's gonna run free. Mom throws a big party. Lisa's boyfriend proposes to her, and it turns out Hannah is not too fat to fit into her pants. She got her pants mixed up with her sister's pants, so the diet was an accident the entire time. The end. Post-book follow-up. Hannah's friends bug her about the fact that she doesn't have a cell phone or a computer yet. That's because Hannah hates the idea of modern technology. As usual for the series, Hannah expresses her feelings in a humorous way. Having a phone at all times? How awful! Just put her on a leash already! She needs 2 computers? What? One for each hand? Ha ha ha! This is unrealistic. The book came out in 2003. Hannah was a teenager in the 90s. She should know about computers. I've been told the entire series is like that. Technology-wise, all the books are stuck in the year 2000. This is especially obvious with Norman's photography studio. But pop culture-wise, the series is more modern day. Now, is it just me, or do Hannah's anti-technology jokes come with a slight edge of condescension? Because I've seen other reviewers take issues with Hannah's jokes. If you agree with Hannah, the joke is fine. But if you disagree with Hannah, she comes off as a jerk who thinks she's better than you. I've noticed this with other jokes throughout the series. Sometimes it feels like Hannah is using Andrea as a punching bag. This isn't a big problem, it's just the author's writing style, but I've wanted to mention it for a while, since every book seems to come with 1 or 2 throwaway comments that irk me unnecessarily. In this book, it was the technology jokes that bugged me. I was also confused when Bill says he's worried about leaving Andrea alone with the killer on the loose. Hannah concludes, well, you can't feel independent when you're married, which doesn't make sense in context. Bill didn't boss his wife around or tell her what to do in any way. He just expressed concern for his pregnant wife, who's wrapped up in her 4th violent murder investigation. I don't think the lesson here is marriage is stifling. I think that's enough about Hannah's random jokes. Like I said, it's not important. I've just been wanting to mention it for a while. Overall, this is a good book. It was neat to see Michelle for the first time, and I was invested in the Freddy Jed storyline. And I think this is the first time I got the culprit's identity correct well in advance of the ending. I'm getting better at this. I figured it out because 2 people died in every book before this one, but when the culprit attacked Freddy, Freddy survived, so I figured there was something important about Freddy, and sure enough there was. He was the one who put the murder weapon inside Hannah's freezer, although he didn't realize it was the murder weapon. And Jed was asking a lot of pointed questions about Freddy to the doctor, so that's sort of what led me on the pathway of thinking, Jed's the culprit. I give Hannah Swensen number 4, Lemon Meringue Pie Murder, an 8 out of 10.